4th, 2024 North Liberty Planning Commission meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Yachty. Here. Heisler.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Willer.
Here.
Janizer.
Here.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve, or voice vote, I'm sorry. We have to have a motion first. Sorry, I'm rusty. Motion to approve the agenda tonight.
I move to approve the agenda.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Motion by Willard, second by Yachty. Voice vote. Approval, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. No one deny. So motion's approved. Moving on to agenda item 3. This is a preliminary site plan for the request of Corda Credit Union to approve a preliminary site plan for a 5,046 square foot financial institution on 1.03 acres. Property is located on the north side of West Penn Street, approximately 220 feet west of North Jones Boulevard. Staff presentation.
All right, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Site plan will fill out the commercial frontage for the Solomon's Entertainment District. We appreciate this use a lot. This is what I would call an ideal fit for this commercial area. Obviously, we have the big sports athletic center, Pizza Ranch and Bulldogs, and then the retail center to the east. This is a use certainly that has office hours, generally speaking. And so there's, with other uses that might have nighttime events, there's opportunities to cross-share parking, and that's what makes sense for a retail center. So this is a really welcome addition to the development. It came in, so there's really no even really back and forth on the design. So I appreciate the design. It was very well done. I think it fits in really, really well. MMS has done a really good job. We did some code changes with landscaping, cross connections with pedestrians, and I think this one they're really starting to get all of those changes. So Kelly, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So this one was probably one of the easiest requests we have. So unfortunately, we were not able to stream it up there, but it is in your packet. I do have the renderings and the site plan. We did a review, some very minor changes. They've given us that, but it does have a drive-through coming around the front. And again, I think this has a pedestrian walkway to Penn, pedestrian walkway to Hayes, and then a cross connection to the other developments, which is outstanding. The property zone C2 in that development, it's urban high intensity in the land use, so the zoning is consistent with the land use. We did have one finding that achieves consistency with the approval standards in 165.052E, and so staff recommends the Planning Commission accept that listed finding and forward the request to the City Council with a recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. And then is there an applicant presentation today?
Good evening, everyone. My name is Paula O'Rourke. I'm President and CEO of Corda Credit Union, formerly known as Lynn Area Credit Union, which you probably have heard of. Just recently a name change on May 6th, so still new for me to say as well. It kind of doesn't come off the tongue very easily. But we couldn't be more thrilled to be partners and be part of the community of North Liberty. And so I just want to thank you for your thorough review, as well as the compliments heard tonight. It's been a pleasure working with Kelly, but also a pleasure to know that North Liberty is very much an option for us to grow and develop and be partners, and also provide financial services to those in need. So that's been really exciting. We just can't wait to be down here and be part of the community. Any questions that you might have for me?
I have none. It looks very straightforward to me.
We appreciate your investment in our community, for
Yeah.
sure.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Moving on, is there any public comments this evening? Does not appear to be any, so we will see if there's questions and comments from the commission.
No, like I said, I think it's pretty straightforward. I do appreciate that the part of the building that you see from Penn is not really the backside. There seems to be no backside on it, and you're going to see you're going to see it from every side when you come either way on Penn or when you're on, was that Haynes? So, yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, that was a goal of ours, to make sure that the front presence, even though it's not a member entrance, is
Yeah.
still a good-looking entrance from Penn Street. So that was a really great importance to us and a priority.
Well, thanks.
Once again, all the heavy lifting has been done.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, seems like everyone's just kind of nodding here, so I'm guessing, in that case, if there's no questions or comments, is there a motion and a second to approve this request?
I move that the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Yanni, second by Ahern. Roll call, please.
Ahern,
Aye.
Heisler,
Aye.
Weller,
Aye.
Yadi,
Aye.
Janizer.
Aye.
Okay, motion's approved.
Thank you again. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Welcome to North Liberty.
Yeah.
All right. Well, as I catch up here, we will move on to agenda item number 4. This is a preliminary site plan. This is a request of the North Liberty Community Pantry to approve a preliminary site plan for a 10,500 square foot community pantry building on 3.04 acres. This property is located on the north side of West Penn Street, approximately 200 feet west of North Dubuque Street. Ryan, staff presentation?
Yeah, this is another one that we're really excited about. Couldn't be happier with the location. Centrally located in the city. One concern I had about the community pantry at its current location is trying to keep it at a scale that's an accessory use to a church. And at some point, how could they have seen what they would grow into? And I talked to him over time, and I said, I'm concerned. At some point, you're going to start getting into a size that's really mirroring what a retail building was, and 10,000 square feet is right. I mean, the one we just saw was like 5,000, so this is 10,000. So it's a big building, and we were talking on the other side of like how do we navigate that? And at some point, I said, at some point it really starts to be appropriate for a commercial location. So this property is, I've been here a little over 4 years, and I've had this is one property where I've had some really interesting phone calls about. And zoning really worked in this case. It's zone C1B. It's urban medium intensity on future land use map. And C1B is a limited commercial district. And, some of the uses, like retail doesn't work here because it's not off the Ranshaw. It's back a little bit. You do get a lot of traffic that comes by, but it's not really a great retail location. I got questions for like contractor bays or self-storage facilities. And while that would be okay, I think from a traffic standpoint, I don't know if that was a great fit for the property. But when I say zoning works, is those uses really weren't permitted in that district. And so it was like, well, you'd have to go through a process of changing the zoning. And then we would be concerned about, how it looks from Penn Street and those things in design considerations. So when they talked about this property, it was like, oh, well, this is exciting because it's a great location and it was actually permitted use in the commercial district. Again, we went through those efforts to reorganize the zoning code and listed community pantries as a use in the code, and had no idea it would be on this property, but it was listed as permitted use in the C1 district. And so that makes life a lot easier for us. This process has been really great. We don't have a representative, unfortunately, here, but I can answer those questions. I mean, this one went through, concept plan to get feedback from staff and preliminary review. So this one's just been going along really well. We appreciate the process, and we actually expect them to be hopefully under construction here shortly after council approval. Again, I think the building's pretty well designed. It has the masonry requirement, and again, I think it's going to be a great use. We did talk a little bit early on the trail next to the Grandig of the Muddy Creek terminates at Penn. I think Josiah and I looked at opportunities for crossing. It's not a great area to cross. I have to cross on my bike, and I know kids do, at Dubuque Street there, and that's actually a little dangerous. It's not great. because people come flying through there. So we did look at opportunities maybe to get a crossing there, and it just didn't seem to make sense because we couldn't remove that crossing there at Dubuque because kids need to walk up. And then if you crossed on the west side, you'd have to come up and then again cross on Dubuque Street. We just didn't think that was safe. So it's something we'll continue to look at. Maybe there's opportunities in the future, but it just wasn't something we felt really comfortable with. But again, building's pretty well designed, kind of has a storefront kind of look to it, but hopefully meets their space needs and can continue to serve the community. So again, appreciate the back and forth we had on this one. We did have one finding: preliminary site plan achieves consistency with the approval standards in 16505, and staff recommends you accept that listed finding and forward the request to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Thank you, Ryan. And I heard you said the applicant is not present today, so.
Correct. I wish everybody had a conflict. So, but I think between Josiah and myself, we're familiar enough with the project. We can probably answer every question that you have.
In that case, I'm safe to move on to public comments. And so at this time, is there anyone in the audience like to come up and talk about this? Again, seeing no one. We'll move on to questions and comments from the commission.
I just think it's a really great location.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah. It really is.
a lot more centrally located than where it currently is, better access.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as the need has grown in the community, I think they've seen such a almost exponential growth that they need some space.
I know that's a good thing or a bad thing. Good for them, they can serve the community's needs.
Yeah.
Bad that there is such a
Yeah.
need.
It's a
But
really well-run organization
Yeah.
with a lot of great support, so they're able to actually kind of grow their mission a little bit. So that's obviously been a great thing, but there's still a ton of demand, unfortunately. So
On a larger lot too, so they can do community gardens and cool
Yeah.
things like that.
yeah,
I think there's a lot of cool things they can do on this property.
exciting for them, exciting use for that site.
Yeah.
I remember back when that was Penway.
I tell people the old Penway. Oh, okay, I know where it is now.
That's right.
That's a excellent use for that spot. Heard the comments, but no questions or concerns. All right then. In that case, is there a recommendation for a motion?
I move that the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. Motion by Ahern, second by Willer. May I have a roll call, please?
Janizer?
Aye.
Yachty?
Aye.
Willer?
Aye.
Heisler?
Aye.
Ahern?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We're now down to approval of the previous minutes, which is very easy. May I have a motion and a second?
I'll move to approve the previous minutes.
A second.
Okay. Motion by Ahern, second by Yachty. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Not opposed. And we're on to old business.
Nothing. Well, nothing really. We're starting to, we tend to slow down now. We get the little push for spring, right, and then we tend to slow down. I expect the sanctuary, which was the rezoning on Forever Green Road, that preliminary plat. We've gone back and forth a little bit on the design, so we expect that to come to you in July. I think that's the only item. I know we're getting into summer travel season, so let me know if you have a conflict with July to see if I just want to make sure we have a quorum because I know it happens every year. It's fine, right? We all travel. with
First
family.
Tuesday is the second, right? I think.
Yes. So I won't be here. I'll be traveling. So we can kind of figure that one out early. Maybe we need to delay the meeting and do it, whatever, and just have a July meeting. I know they're anxious to get going on that. But yeah, we are slowing down from a submittal standpoint. It's just really construction projects and things like that. And then we will have in July, we will do election of chair and vice chair. So
Good, I'm ready to be done.
what do you mean? You're doing so great.
A reminder that in the absence of the chair and vice chair, the last person in is the one who chairs the meeting according to the rules. So.
I fell victim to that once.
It's true.
That's why I was early.
Be here for that meeting, right?
All right, well, that's actually some of new business there with the
Sorry.
election. Is there any other new business?
Nope.
Nope. All right, well, we're on to the last item. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All right, motion by Janizer, second by Ahern. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.